Yeah, listener, that's understatement of the year, right? Like Bruce Lee's deep philosophies were absolutely incredible, and there's too many of them to actually remember. I mean, those who've read the Tao of Jeet Kune Do know that it's not really technically a book. It's a compilation of Bruce Lee's notes when he was making Jeet Kune Do. Now, the irony is Jeet Kune Do just became another martial arts federation because that's the era we were in. But if you think about it, what Bruce Lee did in the late 60s, early 70s, he was creating what would become mixed martial arts. Something that wouldn't get organized and even be in the idea of till another 3 decades later. And that's really what true genius is. True genius is usually ahead of its time, and people, people like when it comes out, it's too wise for its era. And like nobody jumped onto that idea. And in fact, people attacked Bruce. And why did they attack Bruce? Well, they attacked Bruce because they made their money off teaching their particular style of martial arts. So if someone comes out there and goes, styles are stupid, we need to blend this and make this one to make it the ultimate fighting system, you're telling somebody how they make their money is stupid and people shouldn't do that and it's not gonna work and whatnot. And that causes a lot of backlash. And you've seen that depicted in movies like at Ed Parker's tournament, which I've competed in twice, by the way, as a kid and an adult, where he taught that 1 inch punch to people, and they just said, nah, you're wrong, that's not true, that won't work, this you're everything you're saying is false. Well, everybody was afraid that Bruce was gonna out them, so to speak, and it took another 30, 40 years for Bruce to finally be outed, and I love, people, everybody really is a Missourian. You got to show everybody, right? When UFC first came along, what people failed to realize is there's still somewhat of a rule set, even though there's no rule set, and it favored grapplers, and it got to the point where jiu-jitsu took over at first, and then wrestling took over, right? And that had something to do with conditioning and the grappling element, the cage element of it, and whatnot. And then finally, strikers started having their comeback, if you will, and people started seeing like, wait a minute. That people for a while said, oh, karate doesn't work at all, and then karate things started working. And so it's a slow metamorphosis. People are slow to get on board with the reality of what works and what doesn't work. People by and large are sheep, right? And they want to believe what they're told by some great master. But unfortunately, they missed that trade with Bruce for a really long time. But the important thing is they're there now. Look, I used to teach at a kids' martial arts dojo, and I'd have to speak at their promotions. And I'd get up and I would quote Bruce Lee, his many works of genius. If you guys don't know Bruce Lee's quotes, get out there and learn them. One of my favorites is a goal isn't always something to be achieved, but rather something to shoot at. And there it is. Everybody read my book, Warrior of the Light.